The NBA regular season has officially concluded with 20 teams still in championship contention. 12 teams have secured direct playoff berths, while 8 others will battle in the play-in tournament. The Cleveland Cavaliers lead the Eastern Conference as the number 1 seed, followed by defending champions Boston Celtics. In a remarkable turnaround, the Detroit Pistons have clinched a playoff spot after posting the league's worst record last season. Now out west, the Oklahoma City Thunder claimed the top seed, with the Houston Rockets securing the second spot in coach Ime Udoka's impressive second year. The Lakers, now featuring LeBron James alongside newly acquired Luka Dončić, locked in the third seed. The play-in tournament begins this week with teams like Miami, Dallas Mavericks, and Golden State Warriors fighting for the final playoff positions. 5 teams from each conference have been eliminated from contention. Now we've got Femi Adefeso, who will join us to quickly share with us his views on these matchups. Femi, thank you for joining the show today.
It's always a delight to be on the show with you, Udoka. I must say. Great happenings in the NBA this season. I'm sure it hasn't gone according to bookmakers' predictions. Right. Seeing the OKC with SGA being the leading scorer of the season, I thought that was one unprecedented feat. Of course, the switch of Luka Dončić to the Lakers also changed the dynamics for the Dallas Mavericks who are in the play-in tournament. The Eastern Conference too, one would have expected perhaps Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks or the Boston Celtics defending champs to reign supreme, but the Cavs have also shown that they are a team to reckon with this season.
Right, Okwe, I'd like to also ask, get your views on this one. The Golden State Warriors, a lot of us thought that it was going to be, we knew it was going to be a topsy-turvy affair for them, but a lot of fans thought they were going to make it through to the playoffs. But now they have to play in the play-in and against a tough opponent as well.
Yeah, I don't think the season was quite straightforward for the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry didn't start the season healthy, obviously due to his participation at the Olympics. Second season without Klay Thompson. Obviously, you've got an aging center I've forgotten his name at the moment, number 23.
Draymond Green, you mean?
The team, exactly, yeah. So the team needed a bit of rejiggling for me. I don't think that Steve Kerr probably got the financial backing that he needed in terms of recruiting better players to obviously improve the Golden State Warriors. It's been a while since we saw them in the finals, so I think the team needed to be refreshed a bit. But nevertheless, this is where they find themselves now, and obviously they'll be looking forward to making the most of the advantage and finding a way to get themselves into the playoffs, because their other rivals have obviously taken the limelight. I think the biggest surprise for me this year has to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. They've been honestly fantastic. They've broken so many franchise records this season, and they'll be aiming to go all the way to the final. So the Golden State Warriors have it all to play out in this play-in tournament.
All right, Femi, Golden State Warriors struggling, and that they will play in the play-in against a strong side in Memphis Grizzlies. Now, what chance is there for this team, the Golden State Warriors? Because some years ago they used to be burning hot on the basketball court when you had the Splash Brothers, but now it feels like they are falling apart. Against the Memphis Grizzlies, do you think they have what it takes to urge them and make it sneak into the playoffs?
Absolutely. We quickly forget that they got in Jimmy Butler, he had a good run of games for them, and I think it was just some fatigue setting in, a mix of that, and some just teething problems. That's what I'll call it, because it started out really good when Jimmy Butler came in, and it always happens. So it's either it happens first, you guys struggle a little bit, and then you get going, or you start really well, and then that Cinderella run just dries up, and you have to keep going. But I know Jimmy Butler is built for the playoffs. I know Steph and the Golden State Warriors are built for the playoffs. They know how to play playoff basketball. They just wanted to get into to the playoffs zone, which was either the play-in or the playoffs, because they struggled all through the season, you're correct. And as soon as they were able to trade for Jimmy Butler, everybody now thought, oh, this looks like a playoff team. But before then, nobody gave the Golden State Warriors a chance. But clearly getting to this stage, of the season is a huge leap. In terms of how their season was prior to Jimmy Butler coming in. And I think now is crunch time. I think they will step up. The Grizzlies won't be too much of a difficult task, in my opinion. Once they're able to do that, they'll definitely have secured a place because they are 7th and 8th. So the winner of that game automatically is 7th position. So they just need one game instead of going 2 games, because if they lose, then they will have to wait for the winner of the 9th and 10th position, which is an extra game, extra burden, extra fatigue, which the Golden State Warriors would not want to do. So I see them taking this one out and getting that 7th seed in the Western Conference.
Right, with the topsy-turviness of the basketball season this year, the teams we thought were going to easily scale through did not get to easily sail through, to put it that way. Now, heading into the playoffs, are you expecting more upsets, or do you think the likes of the Boston Celtics, Milwaukee Bucks will easily make it to the finals, or we're going to see something entirely different? Maybe the Lakers this time around.
For me, in that Eastern Conference, I still think the Boston Celtics are the best team. If you look at their numbers, their shooting percentages, the way they shoot from threes, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, it's still a compact team. Nothing has changed. Playoff basketball is usually different now, right? For those who follow very well. Yes, the Cleveland Cavaliers are the first seed. I like them. I like what they're doing. Looking all through, Milwaukee Bucks, not exactly the same team. They are the 5th seed this time around. So you have the New York Knicks, the Pacers are ahead of the Bucks. But they are playing the Pacers in the first round, which I think is a manageable thing. If they're able to win that, then they go to the next round. Then we'll then see, how they move from there. But if you ask me, I think Celtics still the favorites from the Eastern Conference. In the West, I think that's where everything is blown open, right? The Denver Nuggets sacked their manager, Mike Malone, which we did not expect.
Yeah.
I think Nikola Jokic had given an MVP season. Mind you, they struggled to be forced because Gordon was out for a long time, Jamal Murray was out for a long time. I'm sure they'll be able to get those guys back for playoffs. And once they do, that team will be really, really hard to beat. I don't want to throw my cards on the OKC because they've not been here. They're a very young side. Again, regular season is different from playoffs basketball because when you play a team back-to-back, you understand how to react to them, you understand how to adjust. So how are you going to be able to adjust, across 7 games? That's what experience does for you. They'll be waiting for the 8th seed. And if I'm going to put my money on the 8th seed in the Western Conference for OKC, it will likely be the Dallas Mavericks or the Sacramento Kings. So I'm tipping Sacramento Kings. That should be a winnable game for them in round 1. Then come round 2, we'll see how all of that will play. The Clippers are also the dark horses in this season. They've done their job very quietly. Walk their way through the playoffs. Kawhi Leonard is now fit. James Harden is playing really good basketball. I like the formation of that team. They look very strong in and out. So they'll be a team to watch out for. You can also rule out the Los Angeles Lakers with Luka Dončić joining LeBron James. I have a conspiracy theory, but I'll keep it to myself because I won't put it in the public. But I think the Lakers might spin a surprise by going all the way because they have the mix of that experience and the magic of Luka.
I mean, looking at Lakers, what they've done since Luka joined that team, are you looking at them now as potential big boys in the Western Conference to go all the way?
Well, I mean, it's quite obvious that they are favorites. Once LeBron James is there, that team is going to be a favorite to win the title. And, something remarkable about LeBron James this season is I think it was the first time in 15 years that he hasn't averaged, 25 points during the regular season. He was very close, just 24 points, 4 if I'm not mistaken, this regular season. And he's been in good form. And with Luka Dončić coming in, I think we could see the chemistry between them on the court. And it was from the get-go. The team looks very, very solid at this point in time. Austin Reeves has had a very great season himself also. Rui Nishimura as well has had a good season. So the team is looking like a compact unit. It seems like JJ Redick has got his tactics on lock. And their screenplays have been very impressive this season as well. So without a doubt, they're one of the favorites. And also the factor for me, a huge factor for me, which most people might not even think about, has to be Bronny James. I think Bronny James gives LeBron that motivation to go ahead and to possibly win a championship with his son with him in the same team. So for me, I think Bronny James is the X factor for the Lakers and might be the major proponent to possibly seeing the Lakers lift another NBA title. But look, this season is very, very tough. So it will be very hard to predict and say maybe the Lakers will go all the way. They need to fight, and they need to show that they are worthy of being NBA champions this season.
Of course, they really need to fight. And of course, for the playing teams, they also need to fight to make their way into the playoffs this season. I say thank you very much, guys, for joining. Thank you, Femi Adefeso, for joining the show. Thank you, Okpeye Adebari, for joining as well.
That was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.